What is up? What is up? This month has been crazy, I'm not gonna lie. What are we in? We're in November. Everyone's already posting all the Christmas stuff all over the place now. I was doing some DoorDash yesterday and I saw like this one house with like, you know, those big skeletons. I saw one of these big skeletons and all the houses around it were already decked out for Christmas. I think that's crazy. What, we're in like November 4th? 4 days in. Kind of made it seem like the dude with the Halloween stuff was like bugging. So we already ahead. Posting stuff in November for December. But I just moved over here. Stay in Gainesville now. I moved from Tampa. I was in Tampa for like 2 years. And it was nice, it was good. It felt like there was like a lot of old people over there though. Over here, it's a college town, so everybody over here is my age, bro. Everyone. It's kind of funny. I don't know if you guys had like Wanadu City in like your town or whatever, or even know what Wanadu City is, but growing up, we had this place called Wanadu City. And all the kids that would go, we would have like a career, and we would like choose like different career paths. Like you could be a paleontologist or a firefighter. You could even be a criminal, a robber. That was the best Cops and Robbers I've ever played. It was back in Wanadu City, bro. That was fire. That was fire. Cause they actually had like jail cells. So like when the police would catch you, which were other kids, they would put you in the jail cell. And that shit was fun. That was real fun. But it's like, talk about Wanadu City, it's like, that's crazy, because they from a young age, they're kind of teaching you to work, at least in Wanadu City. But the way that Wanadu City was like built, they made it fun, because you were actually like learning, you were doing like the job, but you were learning, you know? They even had like grocery stores. What else did they have? They even had like a fake plane. You could be a pilot. And it's like, what happened to that? Like, what happened to like the joy of like working? That sounds weird. But it's like, as a kid, like you were almost excited to get a job. You were excited to, you know, go for your career. And it's like, now it's like, I gotta get a job. I gotta go to school. I gotta pay rent. And it's like, I don't know, it's like, damn. It's like something that we used to be so excited for. It's like once life hit, you know, sometimes you feel, or you felt like, dang, I gotta lock back into reality. Like, the first thing that I remember I wanted to be growing up was a scientist. I wanted to be a scientist growing up. I loved the movie Meet the Robinsons. Like, that kid was like such an inspiration to me. Like, I wanted to be like him, bro. The way how he changed the whole world, the whole future, and it was like, keep moving forward. That's who I wanted to be when I grew up. Even when Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs came out, I was like, yeah, like I want to be like Flint Lockwood, you know. I want to be smart. I want to create. I want to imagine. I wanted to put because the things in my head, my imagination was so grand that I wanted to show. I wanted to show the world what it looked like. I wanted to show the world what I was capable of, and not even just capable of like the thinking aspect, just being imaginative, you know. And then you start, doing stuff, trying to learn things. And bro, I'm so jealous of the kids like in this era. I'm not gonna lie. And like, I feel like every generation says that. Like, obviously, the older generation was like, oh, now you have the internet, which, yeah, like, you do have the internet. But it's like, I guess what the older generation doesn't understand about the internet is that with something so vast and so big, it's kind of hard to find the right information or what you're looking for sometimes, in the sense that, like, it's like sometimes just before, scrolling on the internet was like finding, a needle in a haystack for what you wanted, especially if what you wanted hadn't been created yet, or, you couldn't put into words. But now, with ChatGPT, bro, dude, these kids they bugging, bro. And I know a lot of you guys probably don't like, AI and stuff, which, like, okay, I get. And I don't like a lot of aspects of AI too, because it's like, now that I have this power, everybody else does too. So it's like, it's kind of like when Syndrome from The Incredibles was like, when everyone's super, no one will be. And it's like, that's facts, bro. When everybody has this power to just create movies in the basement of their mom's house, bro, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. But that's not the point that I'm trying to get at. The point that I'm trying to get at is that, for me, I'm not gonna lie, I use AI. I use ChatGPT. But the way that I use it isn't to create stuff for me. That's not what I use it for. What I use ChatGPT for is to organize the thoughts that I already have, the thoughts that are already my own. So I'll lay down, some notes about things that I need to get done, probably put it in order of priority, just to see what it would come up with. Look at it, and I'll organize it to my liking, and I'll do that. It helps organize, because sometimes with your mind running around everywhere, it's like, sometimes you just need to see it, especially as a visual person. Sometimes you need to see what your brain wants to put out, and so the point that I'm trying to get at is that these kids have an ability now to use, if they use this correctly, they can use it to help them. And they're gonna learn how to use this eventually, because I'm sure that there's some kids out there trying to take advantage of it. I'm not gonna knock them all down, but it's like, what a powerful tool. If they want to create something that's never been created, they can get ideas and ask, how can I create this? How would this even work? Is this even something that was already made? And I feel like maybe if I had that growing up, like in the beginning, if I had something like that, maybe I probably would have pursued being a scientist or inventor. But I love music, and honestly, growing up, I couldn't sing. I didn't know that because I don't know if so you know how, like, when you hear your voice in a video or something, it sounds completely different from like how you hear it. That's because it's like the bone conduction. and your skull kind of modifies the sound of your voice, so you hear it like, for me, I hear it deeper than what it is. And so yeah, so I was like, damn, I can't sing. I found out I couldn't sing with the first recording because I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a phone growing up. But I don't know, some type of recording, because it was embarrassing to record yourself too back then. Like, if you didn't have something like this, like you take out a whole camera, like, what the hell? I'm not gonna, no way, no way. But when I heard myself sing, I was like, oh my, bro, I was devastated, bro. I was so devastated. And I was mad too, and I didn't know like who to be mad at. You know, I didn't know who to be mad at. Like, it was just like, it felt like such a betrayal. And honestly, at first I was upset with my mom. I was like, Mom, why didn't you ever tell me I was ass? Like, why didn't you ever tell me I was bad? Like, oh, like if I was bad, I would have known that I needed to fix something. You know what I mean? It's like, and sometimes you gotta do that with people, bro. Like, dude, if I found out that I sounded like ass, would I have been embarrassed if someone else had told me? Most definitely. Most definitely, 100%. But them telling me would allow me to reflect and at least try to, hey, okay, let me try to go invest in some singing lessons, which I tried getting into when I was legit, but we didn't have, like, you know, finances and stuff like that at the time. So obviously that was like a luxury that we couldn't afford. But it's like, I would have been embarrassed, yes, if they just told me. But at the same time, I would have had known that there was something that I needed to fix, something that I needed to adjust. Which, you know, if you feel like I need to adjust anything, you can let me know down in the comments. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna change my morals or like my whole way of living, but, you know, if you're gonna be real with someone, you gotta tell them sometimes that they suck. Tough love, bro. You suck. You suck, man. But I think if you fix this, you can't just be like, yeah, you ass. And you don't tell them why. You gotta be like, okay, well, I like it. I see the vision. Genuinely. If you don't see the vision, then you gotta be like, yo, you gotta explain it to me. Help me understand you. Help me understand your perspective. But the point is like, if you're trying to help someone, the best way to do that is to tell them the truth. If you're ass, you're ass. But yeah, you know what? I want to kind of get back to the wanna do city thing. I know that I'm going back in the conversation that was like 8 minutes ago. But I think that that's actually crazy. The idea that growing up, you know, at least I was, and like some of the kids that I knew, they were excited about what they wanted to do. And not necessarily, like picking a career choice, but the idea of becoming an adult was really cool. But one thing that bothered me as a kid growing up was that I never wanted to wait to be an adult to do those things, not because I wanted to speed up the process of me growing up, but actually the opposite. I felt like being a kid was like the best thing ever, you know, and I wanted to experience the things of an adult as a kid, because it's like, dude, like, I know I'm a kid, I know I'm young, I want to take advantage of that, but if I'm taking advantage of this, I want to take advantage of this with everything that I could get, you know what I mean? So like, when I heard about kids graduating school at like such a young age, I was like, bro, how do I do that? How do I do that? You know, like, so I could like, you know, imagine going to college at like 13 years old, like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that was crazy. And like, even in these movies, like, you would see like, you know, Sometimes these characters do crazy things. Like Big Hero 6. I don't know how old that little kid is, but I think yeah, I think that's like the point. That he's young and he goes to like a college because he's so smart. And it's just like that's so like that was like so inspiring. You know? And it's like I guess that it's important that we kind of take what the kids want to do and we amplify that. You know, we amplify what they want to do and pretty much give them the tools, the right guidance to what they want to do. Not what we want them to do or what we think is best. You know, we try to have to, and you know, obviously there's, you know, a line. You know, you always want your kid to, you know, respect themselves. You know, respect your family name. So obviously nothing that's like, none of that wild stuff, bro. But, you know, like, shoot, if your kid wants to be an actor, bro, like, help them. Show them, maybe influence them, maybe find things that you like as well that can actually help them. And you know what, like I'm saying, like I was saying, like for kids, but not like you should do this for everyone. It's not too late for you. And I think that everyone is so, we're scared sometimes, you know, thinking about, damn, like I've already spent this much of my life so committed to this aspect, I can't even imagine drifting off path. Because we've been so raised to want security. And it's like, how is that possible? That's what we want. But in all the movies and everything that you watch and all everything that you like, you know, like movies, like songs, all of those are preaching the opposite. All of it. You know, the main character is always someone who has something that's special about them, or the fact that they're not special at all, and that in and of itself makes them special. Like Emmett from the Lego movie. that movie's fire, bro. If you haven't watched it, you gotta watch that movie. Top tier, bro. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm drifting off subject a little bit, but the Lego movie is genuinely like the funniest movie like that I've ever seen. Because like, you know, rated R movies, sometimes you need something, you know, vulgar, you know, rude or something, but bro, the pure genius, bro, of like Lego movie humor, bro, you gotta like you have to rewatch it like a couple times sometimes to actually understand like every joke. Bro, my brother and I, we used to watch it like 3 times, 4 times a day, bro. I was excited when it came out on DVD. I knew the day that it was coming out, because when I saw it in theaters, I was like, nah, this is crazy. But anyways, the point that I was trying to make with the movies is that there's always like a hero that has to overcome something. And it's, for the most part, a lot of these stories are unique to this person, in the sense that this is a situation that not everybody in your movie is going through. And so what differentiates the main character from the rest of the people is that they choose to do a different path than the rest. The main character is always distinguished by the fact that they are doing something different from the rest of everyone else. Or they click onto something different. And it's like, we love these movies and they inspire us, but it's like, if that's the case, then why do we follow the crowd when it comes to what we pursue and how we pursue it? And everything that we've been raised to do or like learn as kids was preaching the opposite, and it's crazy because it's like we talk about, oh, I'm Spider-Man, oh, I'm Batman, like, oh, I'm this character, I'm that character, and it's because like they inspire us, but it's like, do we actually take action in that sense? Do we actually stand out from the crowd? You know, are we afraid to step out of line? Do something different? Because what would that mean for us? If you're doing something different than the rest, that means isolation. Isolation in some aspects. I'm not saying, oh, be alone, be depressed, but when we choose a different path, a lot of times we can find people that are probably taking a similar path, but no one that has ever existed or ever will exist ever be in the exact same shoes as you. And with that comes an isolation. And so when you finally take that path of, you know, I'm actually going to stick to something that I want to do, that I actually want to pursue, something that I want to try, something that I've been lying to myself every day about, okay, I'm going to do it, I'm going to start today, I'm not, and I end up not doing it. When you finally commit to that, there's going to be a sense of isolation because no one can change your life but you. No one can change you but you. So when you're isolated in that sense, there's a accountability. You count on yourself. And in that comes that isolation, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling the same thing, but I hope you guys are getting it. Neighbor. Bro, people are afraid to say hi sometimes. You know, and it's okay, but it's like, bro, we used to be like in tribes, you know what I mean? Like communities used to be made up of like the families, you know, and there would be like a whole community, and the whole community would just all be related to each other because it would just get so big because it would just start off with like a small group of people or something. And it's like everyone knew each other. But now no one knows each other. Everyone moved out of those families. Everyone spread out all over the world. So now when you move to a new town that you don't know no one, ain't nobody want to talk to you. They don't know you. Ain't nobody want to talk to you. The only time they talk to you is when they're customer servicing. You know what I mean? So sometimes you gotta take advantage of that. You know, if you're a customer, they start customer servicing, you gotta be like, yeah, start a conversation with this person because they're obligated to. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm not playing, bro. You guys gotta start talking to people, bro, because it's absolutely insane how it's absolutely insane how many people you relate to and have no idea that you walk by every single day. And it's like we gotta start a trend, like a trend of like talking to people, because especially when this like AI stuff comes out, like, I mean, honestly, when the AI stuff comes out, I think the internet is gonna be so unreliable that we probably wouldn't even like use it as much when it comes to like information in a sense, because it's like anybody can make up anything at that point. But we gotta go back to like being social, bro. We're social creatures, you know? It's important. You know, we gotta talk to people, you know? Because a lot of times, you know, we're gonna go through life. Everyone goes through life. Like, obviously, you're not gonna have the same amount of time or freedom that you used to have. But with that being said, when you're on your deathbed, or even if you even have that luxury of being able to think before you die, like, you're probably gonna be old or whatever, and it's gonna be like, bro, where did all your relationships go? Where did all of that go? All of those memories, they're just gonna die with you. And it's like, wouldn't it be nice to, like, still have a part of those memories actually with you? You know, people that you can reflect about life with. Because if you forget, then you forget. That's it. Those memories are gone with your memory. You know, if you get Alzheimer's or whatever, you forget. Or you just get older and you forget. You forget these memories. There's not going to be a single person to remind you, because all those people went away. And so what will you have left at the end of your life if you can't remember anything? Nothing. For real. Nothing. It'd be like you almost didn't exist. There'd be no evidence of your existence besides you. Because you forgot everything. And if you let everything go away, you'd be lucky if those people that still thought about you, if you let them go away. It doesn't mean like selfie road and chase people. You know, you still keep your dignity, your self-respect. You know, you don't take things from people that disrespect you, but if they were good people and you guys were close, and it's like, sure, reach out. Keep in touch with the people in the past. Keep in touch with people in the present now. Because in the future, you might not have anything. Bars, bro. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Well, this is the first video. Pretty dope, pretty dope. It's so nice outside, I'm not gonna lie. The sun's not out, but it's like a nice gray. You gotta like every type of day. You know, because you never know when it's gonna be your last. Take advantage of every single day from the moment you wake up. The moment you wake up is a blessing. You're not obligated tomorrow. That's what Job understood from the Bible. He says, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall depart. Let the name of the Lord be praised. Oh, wait, no, messed it up. He says, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall depart. The Lord has given, and the Lord has taken away. Let the name of the Lord be praised. And I think that that's so powerful. Because Job, despite not having the Bible, was able to understand that, and he had a lot of things. You read that story, he lost his family, he lost his cattle, servants, friends. His wife was telling him to curse God. And he got leprosy, sickness. He had lost everything, including his health. Okay? And yet, tore off his clothes and was able to acknowledge that life in it of itself is a blessing from the moment you come out of the womb, because that life was not obligated to you. You know, there are people, you know, and it's insane because there are people that are born that are blind, born completely blind. And I saw this thing, this person trying to explain it. When they were asked, they were a blind person, and when they were asked, oh, what do you see? Like, do you see all black? The person explained, try looking out of your elbow. Can you look out of your elbow? No, you don't see anything. So that's what they see. It's not even all black. They can't even imagine or fathom seeing or vision. And it's like, could you miss not looking out of your elbow? It's like you never looked out of your elbow in the first place. So it's like, sometimes it's like we only appreciate the things that we have until they're gone. You know, because the things that we don't have, we don't miss. You know, it's things that we have, and when they're gone, we miss. But those things aren't obligated to us. Life in and of itself is a blessing, and once you're actually able to comprehend that, like, bro, and it comes down to everything. Your hands. Dude, God was not obligated to make me with two hands. My two hands are a blessing. This is a gift. Genuinely. And you know, it's really hard to say that my life sucks when you think that way. When you understand that nothing was obligated to you. Right now, my skin could have a condition where it hurts to go outside. I'm not obligated to be outside, but God has given me the blessing of allowing me and giving me good skin so that I can be. It is not God taking something away. It is the fact that God has given all these things to us. People think that, oh, that blind person can't see because God took away their vision. No. You can see because God gave you vision. You see what I'm saying? Nothing that we have is obligated to us. And until you understand that, you're going to feel entitled to everything. And Job understood that. He said, naked I came from my mother's womb, meaning I came here with nothing, not a single memory, nothing. Naked I came into my mother's womb. And naked I shall depart. When I die, I leave everything behind. I leave my vision. I leave my looks, my car, my money, my family. None of those things are obligated to you. You will leave everything behind. And he understood that. He says the Lord has given and the Lord has taken away. And despite of that, let the name of the Lord be praised. That's insane. That's power. That's power. The most powerful man is a man who doesn't need anything, because there's nothing you can take away from him. He has nothing to lose. So learn to be thankful for the things that you have, and grateful to understand that you're borrowing it. Everything that we have, we're borrowing. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I appreciate you guys for listening. I'll catch you guys on the next video. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day and week. And, you know, Try to be grateful for something today. Say hi to someone, okay? Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you spoke to someone new today.